Okay, everybody. So, after hitting you guys with a bunch of videos re-uploaded from the old channel and a rant about PPE, I thought that I would give you something that's original here. This is a compound which, going the way everybody keeps talking, nobody has seen before or demonstrated on YouTube. If they have, I haven't seen it. This is potassium dibromoiodide 1. It is a rather exotic compound that when I was reading the protocol that I used to make the CCM tetrachloroiodate, this protocol is like, I think like on the page before that one or the page after or something, but it's right next to it. And I just happened to see this and I thought, we can give this a try because it is very, very easy to do. As for showing you guys the prep, I don't really know how you can demonstrate this, but I can tell you how I did it because it is extraordinarily easy to make this obscure and exotic compound. All you do is you take some potassium iodide and you grind it up and you dry it out in an oven for about an hour to make sure it is an absolutely bone dry powder. Then you take a little vial like this, right? And you put a couple grams of bromine into it. You want to do it exactly the way that I'm telling you, okay? So you're going to put the bromine in here first. You're going to weigh it so you're going to know exactly what the weight of bromine that you have. Now, you need to get an equal weight of the dry, finely ground potassium iodide and add that to the bottle. When you do this, nothing is really going to happen at first. You can see some pictures on the screen of what it looked like the day I did it and the day after, but all you have to do is just put this place somewhere where it's not going to get hot. I put it where it was going to be out of sunlight, just to be on the safe side, and let it sit for 3 days. After 3 days, you have a dry, homogeneous powder that a couple of different people said looked like hamburger meat in the pictures that I posted of it, and I was like, yeah, it really kind of does, doesn't it? After the 3 days are done, and you have your nice little dry powder, you are supposed to open up the bottle and allow the bromine to evaporate out, and the bottle should contain, it said, either sodium hydroxide or iodine, like elemental iodine, as I guess it would be bromine vapor desiccant. Oh, I tell you what, to live in the days when I could have had so much iodine that I could have used it as a bromine desiccant. So, needless to say, we didn't do that. I went with, a subscriber had suggested using magnesium sulfate, but the textbook said sodium hydroxide, so I just used both of them. I put a layer of magnesium sulfate down, and then I put a little sodium hydroxide over that, because I know sodium hydroxide likes to liquefy itself if it absorbs water, and I figured, well, it'll soak down into the magnesium sulfate and still act like a desiccant, and then we won't have that layer of water constantly making that shit basically passivated. I mean, it still works, it's just much slower. But I didn't need to leave this in there but for a couple of, like, I don't know, maybe an hour. And this is what I've got. It's still giving off a little bit of bromine vapor, but to my surprise, it dissipated pretty quickly inside this closed desiccator. And there you go. Potassium dibromoiodate. It is extremely sensitive to humidity, moisture, water would instantaneously decompose it. The cesium salt is much more stable and can actually be made in aqueous solution, believe it or not. That's how stable it is. But I figured you guys are going to have a lot easier time getting a hold of potassium iodide rather than trying to create cesium bromide as that prep. The way you go about doing it is slightly different than making this, but still, I figured that would be a heck of a lot easier for people to get their hands on, and well, there you go. I mean, if you got a bromine safe bottle or vial, this is so fucking easy to do. And I mean, I don't know, I'm just gonna wrap some parafilm around the lid, label it, and put it on the shelf and marvel at its awesomeness. That's about all it's good for. But there you go. a weird, obscure, exotic compound, just like the tagline for the channel says, that you probably won't see too many other places unless you make it, which is super easy to do. Anyway, just thought I'd share. See you later, guys.